December 10th, 2025, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Time. As the first king tide surge hit Pacifica, residents watched their streets disappear under 3 feet of seawater. But this wasn't flooding. It was the moment scientists realized that cosmic forces were now collaborating with climate chaos. King tides happen when the moon, sun, and earth align in perfect formation, creating gravitational forces that raise ocean levels by several feet. For centuries, these cosmic events caused gentle flooding that communities could predict and prepare for. Not anymore. New analysis reveals that king tides are now combining with monster wave systems supercharged by warming oceans and atmospheric rivers. The result isn't just higher water, it's coordinated destruction where celestial mechanics provide the platform for climate-amplified waves to launch systematic attacks on coastal infrastructure. The Santa Cruz cliff collapses weren't random erosion. They were precision strikes delivered by 30-foot monster waves riding on astronomically elevated platforms. And the most unsettling discovery is that scientists can predict exactly when these cosmic climatic collaborations will occur. Every planetary alignment for the next decade is mapped, and every king tide cycle is calculated, which means every future monster wave attack is scheduled. When cosmic clockwork starts collaborating with climate warfare, who writes the timeline of coastal destruction? And if scientists know exactly when the next astronomical alignment will create monster wave platforms, why is no one prepared for what's coming? For over a century, the U.S. West Coast has operated under predictable wave mechanics. Normal winter storms generate 10 to 20-foot waves, while extreme events might reach 30 feet during powerful Pacific tempests. The coastline evolved defenses around these patterns, with seawalls built for 25-foot maximums and harbors designed for known surge ranges. But December 2023 changed everything. In Ventura County, 40-foot monster waves breached seawalls designed to handle the worst the Pacific could deliver. 8 people were injured, cars were swept inland, and harbor infrastructure built to century storm specifications was obliterated in hours. The waves defied normal weather patterns, striking during calm conditions and channeling energy from distant storms. These storms interacted with atmospheric rivers in ways forecasting models never anticipated. What we witnessed violated everything we understood about wave generation and coastal impact, said Dr. Sean Vitusek, a USGS coastal engineer. These waves were carrying forces from multiple storm systems simultaneously, Vitusek explained. Analysis of West Coast monster wave events from 2023-2025 exposes alarming trends across the region. Washington recorded over 1,200 rescues during a single atmospheric river event in late 2024, while Oregon's Depot Bay experienced waves exceeding 40 feet during storms classified as minor. In Northern California, Pacifica seawalls were overtopped 15 times during the winter of 2024-2025, compared to a historical average of 2 to 3 per decade. Santa Cruz saw its iconic wharf destroyed by 60-foot waves on December 23, 2024. Southern California wasn't spared either, with Manhattan Beach Pier damaged by 35-foot waves during supposedly calm weather. The pattern wasn't intensifying storms, it was the systematic weaponization of normal conditions. Scientists discovered that monster waves aren't generated by single storms, but form when atmospheric rivers synchronize multiple Pacific tempests. Atmospheric rivers are moisture highways connecting storm systems across thousands of miles, explains Dr. Nina Oakley of the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes. When they align, it's not just bigger waves, it's wave trains carrying compounded energy from multiple sources, Oakley said. During the winter of 2024-2025, the West Coast experienced 56 atmospheric rivers, more than double the historical seasonal average. Each delivered coordinated wave power accumulating across vast Pacific reaches before bombarding shorelines. King tides occur when the sun, moon, and earth align, maximizing gravitational pull on the oceans. Historically, this meant tidal increases of 1 to 3 feet. Minor flooding that was easily managed. December 10, 2025 rewrote that equation entirely. When the alignment produced 3-foot king tides, cosmic mechanics didn't just lift water levels, They erected elevated launch pads for monster waves already supercharged by atmospheric rivers and warming seas. King tides don't just add height, they transform wave physics, explains Dr. Adam Young of the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. Waves crossing water already 3 feet higher sustain energy longer, move faster, and strike with forces their size conceals. Santa Cruz's cliffs weren't destroyed by 30-foot waves hitting normal shores. They were hit by 30-foot waves impacting coastlines already elevated by cosmic alignment, generating power equivalent to 40-50-foot waves under standard conditions. This amplification is further compounded by ocean warming, with West Coast sea temperatures rising 2 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit since 1950. Warmer water packs more energy and spawns stronger base waves. When atmospheric rivers siphon heat from the tropics, they aren't just transporting moisture, but conducting thermal fuel for wave generation across epic distances. We're measuring atmospheric rivers carrying 25 times the flow of the Mississippi River, notes Dr. Marty Ralph. That's not just humidity, it's heat powering waves across unprecedented scales. The result is exponential amplification. Ocean warming breeds stronger background waves, atmospheric rivers orchestrate them across hemispheres, and king tides provide elevated platforms optimized for coastal destruction. The most chilling aspect of December 10th was that it was entirely predictable. Planetary alignments are forecast years in advance, atmospheric river trajectories are increasingly well-modeled, and ocean temperature trends are precisely tracked. Scientists knew the alignment would generate maximum king tides on December 10th. New atmospheric rivers were conducting cataclysmic wave energy across the Pacific, and new heated seas were fueling the system. Yet shoreline fortifications remained engineered for obsolete historical wave regimes. When December 10th's mutant waves struck cosmically elevated king tides, they didn't just break inadequate defenses. They exposed systemic fragilities spanning 2,100 miles of coastline. Santa Cruz Harbor alone sustained $50 million in damage from a single wave incident, while Pacifica's seawalls now require complete rebuilding. Multiple sections of Highway 1 were undermined, and major coastal airports, including SFO, LAX, and SeaTac, were revealed to be vulnerable to surge inundation. The 6-hour event caused $2.3 billion in immediate destruction, with $8 billion projected for infrastructure replacement and $15 billion in disrupted commerce due to harbor closures. And this may only be the beginning. California's $44 billion coastal economy relies on uninterrupted operations across ports, tourism, and seaside industries. Monster waves that paralyze harbors for weeks don't just destroy infrastructure, they choke economic lifelines. The Port of Los Angeles, which handles 40% of U.S. containerized imports, could be knocked offline for months by a single peak king tide monster wave event, triggering national supply chain collapse. Human exposure mirrors this economic vulnerability, with more than 25 million people living within 50 miles of the West Coast. Most of these communities were established under outdated wave regimes. Evacuation plans assume conventional storm surges and predictable flooding timelines, but monster waves riding astronomical tides inundate coastal zones in minutes, not hours. Emergency systems built for traditional flooding are incapable of responding to tidal-timed monster wave strikes. Current catastrophes represent early-stage climate amplification. Models project an additional 2 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit of ocean warming by 2050, a 15% per decade increase in atmospheric river intensity, and rising baseline tidal heights. By 2040, routine king tide events could inflict damage equivalent to today's monster wave disasters. By 2050, peak king tide monster wave combinations may produce coastal impacts exceeding any recorded U.S. disaster. We're witnessing the progressive obsolescence of coastal civilization, warns Dr. Catherine Hayhoe of Texas Tech University. Not through gradual sea level rise, but through wave combat triggered by predictable cosmic events. This phenomenon is not confined to California. December 10th's astronomical amplification synchronized coastal damage across the Pacific Basin, with Japan, Australia, and Chile all recording anomalous wave incursions during the king tide window. The same celestial forces elevated sea levels globally. If monster waves are governed by space-set schedules, coastal disasters could evolve into global astronomical catastrophes. The National Weather Service is deploying cosmic amplification alerts for king tide cycles. FEMA is revising flood maps to include astronomical timing, and California's Coastal Commission now mandates king tide multiplication assessments. These steps are necessary but insufficient. Calculations indicate that the March 15, 2026 alignment will generate king tides 40% higher than those of December 10th. If coincident atmospheric rivers occur, the resulting assaults could exceed anything in recorded history. Traditional coastal engineering cannot counter astronomically arranged, climate-energized forces. Gradual inundation evacuation strategies are incompatible with space-coordinated shock attacks. The cosmos are mobilizing new weapons in an ancient war, and the West Coast has 15 months to reinvent its defenses. Because next time, the devastation won't be limited to Santa Cruz. It will span a hemisphere, and it is already written in the stars. If you want to stay informed on the cosmic war reshaping our coasts, subscribe to Earth Attacks and turn on notifications. With your support, Earth Attacks will keep uncovering the hidden connections between space and Earth, revealing the truth behind the geological insurgency. Like this video if you think our leaders need to wake up to the 15-month deadline. The West Coast must revolutionize its coastal defenses before the next cosmic escalation. The first step is spreading awareness of the planetary threats converging on our shores. Earth Attacks is your portal to the front lines. Join us as we expose the ancient war between astronomical forces and terrestrial territories, because this time, the devastation won't be confined to Santa Cruz. It'll span a hemisphere, and it's already written in the stars.